Hey class, welcome back. Almost through the week. It's Thursday, April 30th. We're gonna enter chapter 7 of Miracles Boys. I'm gonna be looking back and forth from here and here because I actually am recording on two different devices. I have two cameras set up, but regardless, we're gonna hop into our please do now first, and then I'm gonna go through the questions. I'm gonna read the questions and pretty much kind of help you with answering them, on how to answer them with the wording and the sentence stems. And then I'm going to actually read chapter 7 so you can stay on when I start reading and read along with me, or you can, exit out and read on your own, read at your own pace. Again, there's no YouTube link today for chapter 7 to listen to the audio. I'm going to read it. But first, we're going to go into our Please Do Now. So, please do not ask, have you ever had to convince someone to believe something? Was it easy to get them to believe you? So, I know that it's not always easy to get someone to believe you as far as my experience goes. Especially if someone's like really into something, it's kind of hard to persuade them to believe what you're saying. So, tell me about a time, that you had to convince someone to believe something other than what they were already believing. Was it easy to get them to believe you? So go ahead and type your answer, your response in there. So looking at the first question, it says, what does Lafayette dream about at the beginning of the chapter? Why does the dream take a negative turn? So simply just answer the question. So right at the start, he's having a dream. What was that dream about? And why does the dream take a negative turn? What happened that made it, not go so well? The next question, 2 of 4. How does Tyree say Laugh or Lafayette has changed since his mother passed? What did he used to do? So after Miracle passed their mom, Lafayette changed some way. Tyree's calling him out on it. How did he change? What did he say? What did he used to do? How did he used to act? And what is he doing now? How is he acting now? So you can say Lafayette has changed by such and such, or Lafayette used to do this, that, and the third. What used to go down? Third question: what is Lafayette starting to believe about his mother's death? All right, he's starting to form some thoughts. What is he starting to believe about his mother's death? Lafayette's starting to believe that, and then you fill it in. What is he starting to believe? Last question. What is Tyree trying to convince Lafayette to believe at the end of the chapter? So remember that please do now about trying to convince somebody of something, to believe something. Tyree is trying to convince his little brother to believe something at the end of the chapter. What is that? All right. Why is that? What is he trying to get him to believe at the end of the chapter? So, again, I'm about to start reading chapter 7 now. If you like, you can definitely go ahead and close this video out now, and you can read on your own and work on at your own pace. But I'm going to start now. All right, chapter 7. I had fallen asleep on Tyree's shirt and woke up to the smell of chicken frying and Tyree singing Me and Bobby McGee in the kitchen. I could hear him moving around, lifting the covers on pots and getting things out of the refrigerator. I rolled into my back and thought about the dream I had just had. Tyree and Aunt Cecil had agreed that I'd spend every summer down south with her, and when new Charlie came home, he'd spend summers there too. The first summer I went, Aunt Cecil had pointed me down a path that led to a stream chock full of rainbow trout. I had been dreaming about that stream, about trout jumping up onto the fishing pole Aunt Cecil had given me. In the dream, the fish wiggled and wiggled, their rainbow scales flickering in the sun. I pulled the fish off my line and let it dance its last dance against the bank, and then put it in a pail half filled with water. I was carrying the fish back to Aunt Cecil, and she was going to fry it up. Fried fish. Then a shadow came over the path, and when I looked up, I saw new Charlie standing there frowning down at me. He knocked the pail out of my hand, and the fish lay on the ground between us, its eyes wide and glassy. And when I opened my mouth to say something to him, no words came out, and me and new Charlie just stood there, and that's when I woke up. It was dark out now, and a steady rain was pinging against the window. I wondered where new Charlie was, wondered if he'd gotten home yet. I closed my eyes and tried to remember more stuff about what it was like before he went to Rahway. Sometimes me and him would sit out on the stoop waiting for Mama to come home, and he'd tell me about girls who liked him and guys who thought they were bad. Sometimes me and him would get to laughing so hard about something that we couldn't stop. I remember this one day we were laughing like that, and Aaron came up to the stoop and asked what we were laughing at. Me and Charlie just looked at each other and busted out laughing even harder. I don't think we even answered Aaron. We probably didn't even have an answer. And sometimes new Charlie walked down the block with his arm around my shoulder, bragging to everybody about how smart I was. Him and my big brother's gonna be rocket scientists, he said. Better watch out, or else I'll get him to send your butt to the moon. Mama, I whispered. Mama, I whispered, make them send the old Charlie home. Tyree stuck his head into the door. Bright light from the hall came in with him. Yo, 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 he said. Time to get up and eat, sleepyhead. What time's it? Little bit after 7. You feel like going to the movies tonight after we eat? I sat up and rubbed my eyes and nodded. See what? Tyree shrugged. I don't know. Figured we'd go downtown to the quad and see what's playing. I don't want to see no art movie. You always want to take me to see those boring old art movies. Half the time I don't even know what they're about. Tyree shook his head and smiled. You'll figure it out someday. I don't want to figure it out someday. I want to see a movie I can figure out while I'm watching it. Only reason you asking me is because nobody else will go with you. Only reason I'm taking you to the quad is because I'm not gonna spend $8.50 on some karate movie or action feature about some outer space somebody wanting to blow up the earth. I grinned. It could happen, you know. We don't really know about life on other planets. And we ain't gonna find out about it tonight. Come on and wash up. I got food almost on the table. He disappeared out the door, and I got up and went to the bathroom. Going to the art movies with Tyree wasn't really that bad. If we saw something that was way deep, he'd always figure out a way to break it down for me. Tyree had fried chicken and made mashed potatoes and corn with red peppers in it. He fixed me and him a plate and put 2 slices of bread on mine because I eat bread with everything. I sat down at the dining room table. We got any soda tea? Ginger ale, Tyree called from the kitchen. You want some? I frowned, not even knowing why I asked. It was the only kind of soda Tyree bought when he went shopping. If I had some extra money, I'd pick up a big bottle of orange or grape soda. I hadn't had extra money in a while. Nah, just water, please. Tyree came out with 2 big glasses of ice water and sat down across from me. We ate for a while without saying anything. Tyree learned to cook from Mama and from reading cookbooks. There were always 2 or 3 cookbooks in the bathroom because he usually read them in there the way most people read the sports section on magazines. You say grace? He asked me. I closed my eyes. Thank you, O Lord, and Tyree for getting me something good to eat before I starve to death dreaming of fish. Amen. When I opened my eyes, Tyree was smiling. I smiled back. You really dreamed about fish? I nodded. Aunt Cecil would tell us to play a number, Tyree said. Fish is supposed to mean something. I remember her talking to somebody about it, saying she dreamed about fish one night and played whatever number it was, and then 2 days later she hit for like $300. What number was it? Tyree shrugged. Even if I knew, we wouldn't play. Figure if Aunt Cecil hit for 300, she must have lost about 600. As much as she plays and as little as she hits. Tyree picked up his chicken wing, and took a bite and chewed slowly. In the dream, new Charlie came along and knocked the bucket of fish out of my hand. I said, You figure they got a number for brothers knocking fish out of your hand. Tyree didn't say anything for a minute.